And they're facing Greinke, who is completely different from...
Fired up enough and get those key batters to, really, hit. And the pitching, the Rays pitching has been pretty good. They've been holding the Astros more than a lot of people have thought they were going to. So if they just keep up with the solid pitching and finally, put the ball in play, they have a shot.
What are the Rays' X factors, Johnny?
I already said Charlie Morton. I think
Who's got a hit in their lineup?
Yandy Diaz. I mean, he's hit leadoff. Mm-hmm. He hit leadoff in the wild card game. He had, I think, a homer. He led off the game with a homer.
I mean, he had two in the wild card.
Two in the wild card game. So if he hits, that's going to be dangerous.
Now, a question I want to touch on. Will the Trop be sold out today?
I checked last night, and there was one section left.
One section.
I mean, there's a crowd.
That's going to be something, too. The Rays are not used to playing in front of a home crowd. Johnny, we've said it all series long. The pitching for the Astros, is the pitching just going to get it done for them?
I think they do. The Astros pitching is so dangerous in a 5-game series because, as you guys have seen, Justin Verlander and Garrett Cole, they get you 2-0. They're going to get you 2-0. They're probably going to get the Yankees 2-0, and they might get whoever wins in the National League side to up 2-0 in the World Series. They're just that good.
Emily, I know you're a Rays fan. Any motivation for your team?
They've pulled out of there's a ditch, right? And they've been able to get out of it multiple times. I don't see why they can't do it again.
Okay. Johnny, any closing thoughts on the Rays? Any chance?
I want them to win because I want to go to the game tomorrow.
Well, you heard it here first. Our panelists are just cheering for the Rays so they can go to the game tomorrow. That's some great insight. All right. Transitioning from the AL to the NL, the Cardinals will look to send their series back to Atlanta for a Game 5 with a win today against the Braves. After leading 1-0 in 8 innings yesterday, Cardinals closer Carlos Martinez surrendered 3 runs in the top of the 9th and picked up the Game 3 loss. Outfielder Adam Duvall knocked a 2-out double to go ahead 3-1 in the 9th, and the Braves never looked back. Johnny, can the Braves carry this momentum and win the series?
I think they do, and I think these Braves have been fired up because Carlos Martinez said something about Acuna not respecting the game when he bat flipped a homer off him in the 9th in Game 1. And he blew a kiss yesterday to a runner on second right before he blew the save. So these Braves are fired up, and I think the biggest turning point in this series was Mike Fultonevich beating Jack Flaherty in Game 2. Because Jack Flaherty was easily the best pitcher probably in baseball in the second half.
He was pretty good.
And they put up 3 on that team.
Emily, what do you got for the Braves' chances?
I think they got it. They're not there for no reason. They have the team. They have the lineup. They have the pitching staff. They just have to put it in play and win again. I
mean, they are my World Series pick, so I hope they can get it together. But, I mean, who besides Acuna, we got to look at Acuna to lead this team in this series.
I'm looking at Josh Donaldson, the bringer of rain. God, he's so good.
Yeah, he started that off with the leadoff double yesterday.
He is just so electric in that team. I think if the Braves want to continue the success they're having, they need to sign him. They need to extend him.
I would agree. What do you have to say? Do you think Josh Donaldson's their X factor right now?
Yeah, he's doing really good.
Okay, so Game 4, Cardinals are home. What are the Cardinals' factors to winning today?
The Cardinals want to bring it to Game 5. The Cardinals want another chance at Flaherty.
I mean, but is that is that doable to beat Flaherty Game 5?
For the Braves to beat Flaherty?
Yeah.
They did it once. They can do it again.
Emily?
I think they got it. They've had it this whole series, and what's it called? The Cardinals, their batting's kind of weak right now. If they don't wake up the bats, they're not gonna get very far.
I mean, Ozuna struck out on, I would say, a terrible call in the 9th last night. I mean, it comes down to, you can't put yourself in a position for the umpires to control your faith. So what do you think the Cardinals should jump out to an early lead tonight? Strong pitching, what's their key?
I mean, honestly, an early lead's always good. But, I mean, like y'all saw yesterday with the Dodgers, early lead doesn't always mean you win.
That is true. The Dodgers did go down, and we'll touch on that a bit later. Emily?
They're going to have to do everything in their power if they do want to win, even though they do have home field advantage. That's not something that really shake the Braves.
Someone who I think has been playing really well for the Braves, and it's kind of gone quiet, is Dansby Swanson. He's been their guy, the leader of the infield. He's been coming up with clutch hits. What do you have to say about Dansby?
He had 3 hits yesterday, I'm pretty sure, and the Cardinals walked Brian McCann to get to Dansby Swanson, and as a hitter, that's a slap in the face. But Dansby made him pay. That was just an electric moment.
All right.
When you hit like you're supposed to, that gets you far.
All right. So who's winning the game tonight?
Braves.
Braves. All right. That was very quick, and I'm picking the Braves too. Let's jump to the other wild card game. The Nationals are in familiar territory today, facing a potential NLDS exit as they trail 2-1 to the 105-win Dodgers. The Nats dropped to Game 1, but have bounced back in Games 2 and held a lead in the 6th inning last night's Game 3, but a 7-run 6 crushed the Nats' hopes. However, reigning Cy Young winner Max Scherzer will look to save the Nationals season as he takes the mound for Game 4. Emily, do the Nats pull an upset per se?
They could, but they're how do I put this? The NL's not the hardest league. So anything can really happen, but the Dodgers do have that clutch spot where they're the king of the NL.
I mean, I know you're a Dodgers fan.
I am
but
a Dodgers fan.
how is Max Scherzer looking in Game 4?
I mean, Max Scherzer came in relief in Game 2, I believe, and threw a scoreless inning, 3 strikeouts. Max Scherzer is insane. If you guys have ever seen like Pitching Ninjas videos on him, where he's just on the mound, just swearing like a sailor, he's crazy. And he's a good pitcher, but this is the best Dodgers team in the last 3 years that have been to the World Series twice.
So, Emily, for the Nationals especially, I think it's pitching. Do we think it's their bullpen too that needs to kind of step up? We saw their bullpen get absolutely crushed last night.
Yeah, their bullpen definitely has to step up because the Dodgers' pitching is a little shaky. So if the Nationals can tighten up their bullpen and really get the ball in play, they have a shot.
Johnny?
I think the biggest issue is that the Nationals don't really have a lockdown bullpen, because you saw yesterday, they're bringing their starters. I think their starters out of the pen have pitched just about as many innings out of the bullpen as their actual relievers all year. And you never know how starters are going to react in a different role. And like you saw yesterday, Patrick Corbin just got absolutely shelled yesterday, and it was great.
All right, so Emily, for the Dodgers to close this out, who are you looking to step up in this Game 4?
That's a good question.
The offensive side, like Justin Turner had a big home run last night.
They might have to continue on with their like hitting as they are because it's going great for them.
Johnny?
Why would you change something that's not broken?
Cody Bellinger had 2 hits yesterday, and I think he heats up. I mean,
He's the likely MVP.
I'm calling it right now. Either him or Jock is hitting a homer today.
Him or Jock is going to go deep. Is Jock going to go off the foul pole again?
God, I hope so. I don't care where it is. As long as it goes over the fence, I couldn't care less.
Okay, so let's say this does go to a Game 5 back to LA. Who wins the game?
Dodgers.
Dodgers.
If they go to Game 5, it's going to be Buehler versus Strasburg.
I mean, it's everyone versus everyone at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's available no matter what.
Well, Walker Buehler is going to be playoff Walker Buehler and throw 7 shutout innings as a minimum.
I mean, I think as long as Kershaw doesn't pitch, the Dodgers will always have a chance in the postseason. We all know the Kershaw-Dodgers
Max Scherzer gave up the same amount of runs as Kershaw in the NLDS in the wild card game in less innings, and no one's talking about that.
It
gets me a little peeved.
Yeah.
Emily, who's your winner of this series?
The Dodgers.
Dodgers? Johnny?
Dodgers.
Who do you think?
Okay, Nationals. No, I'm joking. He's a Dodgers guy. All right, let's jump into what has probably been the most lopsided series thus far. The Yankees made easy work of the Twins in the first 2 games in the Bronx. The Yankees outscored the Twins 18-6 in games 1 and 2, and looked to keep the foot on the gas and finish the Twins off in a sweep. The Twins have had no answer for the hot Yankee bats, but with 15-game winner Jake Odorizzi on the mound, fortunes could change. Johnny, what do you think the Twins need to do tonight and wake up their own bats and silence the Yankees?
I think it's weird because the Twins also won over 100 games this year, but they just have not looked good in this series.
Does it count in the AL Central if you won 100 this year?
I mean, they still play the West and the East.
But does it count?
The Indians had like incredible pitching this year, and they put up really good numbers against that staff. But the Twins have looked lost. I mean, and I just have to say that Didi's grand slam, that is the most swagger I've ever seen in a baseball field.
Emily?
The Twins, their pitching is not the best, and if your pitching isn't clutch and you have those giant powerhouse hitters that the Yankees have, it's gonna go very downhill very fast. So the Twins, I don't think it's a fair matchup. They're not the same level.
I mean, it's kind of like
They're gonna get destroyed again.
I think the Twins, they didn't really put themselves in this situation. It's just kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I mean, what are we looking for them to wake up? Like, what is their key to get a game on the board?
I mean, Odorizzi is a veteran, so he just needs to lead this club today. He needs to lead that staff to a win. And I think if he gives, like, let's say 6 innings, 2 runs, like, I think that sets them up very well to have a competitive game.
Emily?
They've had such high running games that I feel like by now the Twins pitching should at least know what those Yankees are looking for and what not to throw at them so that you can't run up the.
Now, the Yankees' bats have looked very dominant, but it really hasn't been from your typical, it hasn't been the Stanton, Judge, Sanchez. I mean, they've contributed, but, it's been the, Didi, LeMahieu, so, I mean, are these Yankees looking like they can win the World Series, especially if, Stanton, Judge, Sanchez just start popping off?
Well, every time the clock hits October, Didi Gregorius just hits every single baseball he sees 500 feet. So it's just insane.
So is it surprise drug test time for him?
Oh, no. Honestly, the Twins should send him, something today and just have the wrong date on it. Have it be, April or something. Just hope it psychs him out, yeah.
Emily?
What was the question again?
The Yankees offense,
Okay.
are they the scariest team in the AL?
They should be. They kind of are. But the Yankees pitching isn't the most solid in the league. So the Twins just have to really get in their head. Any team gets in the Yankees' head and you win.
I mean, I feel like the Yankees have this mindset of if we score more runs, we can't lose, and they're not worried about pitching. If they score 15 runs a game, they will not lose. No MLB team is going to give up 15 in the postseason, and they did last year, though, against the Red Sox. But that's another story. So, quickly, who's the X factor of this series?
I mean, so far, it's been Didi.
Didi. Mm-hmm. So, can we say, that Grand Slam probably locked this series up for the Yankees?
Oh, yeah. If it didn't, it's definitely
It
what
crushed
you
the
remember.
Twins' ego.
It's what you remember. 10 years from now, or let's say they get to the World Series, they might even win it. That's what you remember. That Grand Slam is what you remember.
All right, real quick, who wins this? Yankees?
Yankees.
Yankees?
The Yankees.
All right. Thank you, Emily and Johnny, for your answers. There's a lot of baseball today, but it's not a Monday in October without Monday Night Football. Tonight, the undefeated 49ers host the 2-2 Browns in Santa Clara. There is a poll on the HTF Twitter to answer who will win tonight's Monday Night Football contest. Be sure to answer and follow on Twitter @HittingTheField. When we come back, we'll dive into yesterday's NFL action with John Whitley and Tyler Fellerman. Stick with us.
I'm puzzled. If they would have made that call, who do you think would have been in the Super Bowl? The Saints would have been the Super Bowl. Come on now.
The refs, they need to be punished.
Oh, hey guys. Did you see my missed call last week? Could have sent that team to the championship. I guess not.
I can't take this anymore.
What's up with this guy?
Hi, I'm Dave Jeffrey, attorney at law. Has your favorite team ever left you feeling sad, disappointed, or even a little angry? Don't you feel like you should be compensated for it? Just take a look at these real testimonials from my real clients. After Tyrod Taylor led the Bills to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years, I was the happiest I'd ever been. And then the Bills traded him, and I wanted to die. But thanks to Dave, I found my will to live again. Yo, Kevin Durant's a bitch. When he said his mom was the MVP, I was so pissed. He put up 30 a game, not her. Same time, I knew my boy Davey would be able to get me some quick cash. Thanks, Dave Jeffrey. I've helped millions of people, and chances are I might be able to help you too.
I hate David Jeffries. My whole family died in a car crash, but he gave all my money away to a Saints fan because of some blown pass interference call. Thanks, Dav.
Aren't you mad when KD went to the Warriors?
Nah, that's pretty chill. Give me a call at 888-888-888, crying emoji, and I can fix your sports misery too.
Please call the number on your screen today if you are experiencing any grief, sadness, or even if another fan has hurt your feelings. All you have to do is provide your credit card number, the 3 silly digits on the back, and the expiration month and year. This is not a scam. Doop de doop.
Welcome back. I am now joined by Tyler Fellerman and John Whitley. Welcome to the show. How you doing, John?
Great. Best week of football we've had so far. I'm fired up.
I would agree. Tyler, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I mean, another week of football.
That is true. All right, guys, let's jump into the NFL action. Jay Gruden joined the unemployment line this morning as Washington relieved him of his duties. Gruden became the first NFL coach to be fired this season after starting 0-5. Washington has named Bill Callahan as the interim coach. He was the offensive line coach from 2015 and on. John, what does this mean for them?
Well, I think it means you're moving forward with Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins can't succeed when he knows his coach does not believe in him. It's going to make him play too tight, and he's going to make more mistakes. Now he can turn it loose, he can have fun, and play in the game that he loves.
Tyler?
I mean, another thing that people haven't been talking about is Trent Williams. We're going to finally figure out what the Redskins are going to do with Trent Williams. Hopefully, having the offensive line coach as the new interim coach, we'll see what happens with that. Maybe a better relationship between them.
Yeah, he's still holding out, right?
Yep, still holding out. So maybe we'll get him either moved to a different team, or maybe he'll come back and be like, offensive line coach is the head coach. I'll go with that.
I mean, that would be big for relationship issues. Just closing thoughts. Do the Redskins turn their season around at all?
No, they don't. Their schedule's too tough from here on out. They don't have the personnel. There is a lot of talent on this roster, but they don't play well together. So, no, they don't.
Tyler?
Nah, this is just Dwayne Haskins run through now.
All right. Well, we'll see because they're playing Miami next week, so that will be interesting.
That can gain some momentum right there.
That could be a tie.
Yeah.
All right. Eyes are forever open and jaws are still on the ground after some crazy stat games from players around the league in Week 5. Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson threw for 426 yards and 5 touchdowns. His receiver Will Fuller notched career highs in 3 touchdowns and 217 yards. But Cowboys receiver Amari Cooper actually led the day with 226 yards and a touchdown. However, nobody dazzled more than Panthers running back Christian McCaffrey. CMC went bananas with 237 total yards of scrimmage and 3 touchdowns in the Panthers win over the Jags. Tyler, what did you make of McCaffrey's performance yesterday?
He's the leader of this team when Cam Newton's out. I mean, just feed him the ball and hopefully he can get you a win. They faced a bad Jacksonville defense without Jalen Ramsey, so just keep feeding him the ball and you might be able to get some wins without Cam.
That's big. John?
Yeah, man, 19 carries, 176 yards, and he averaged 9 yards per carry.
Yeah.
Easily the best running back in the league. I think it's time to put him in the MVP conversation.
I mean, forget the MVP conversation. What about the best running back in the league conversation, Tyler?
I think it's him or Dalvin. I mean, those two are the top guys this year competing for that. So, I mean, I take him above Dalvin right now because he has the receiving threat that Dalvin doesn't have compared to him, but definitely the best receiver right now in the NFL.
John?
Yeah, well, there's no weakness with Christian McCaffrey. He can run outside, he can run inside with power, he can receive. He's clearly the best running back in the NFL, and the margin between him and the second best is huge.
I mean, who is the second best?
Saquon Barkley.
Saquon?
When he's healthy.
Yeah, I mean, if Saquon's healthy, yeah. Right now, statistically wise, I'm taking Dalvin Cook.
So do we think McCaffrey has any, young Le'Veon Bell in him? Like, when Bell first came into the league? Like, is McCaffrey better than Bell ever was?
Right now, he's the best I've ever seen, because where's the hole in his game? Yep. I don't see it.
Staying on for the fourth quarter, I guess?
Yeah.
I mean, he missed some of the fourth quarter, but I mean, the workload. Do you think the Panthers need to watch his workload, Tyler?
I mean, yeah. I mean, they kind of overran Cam Newton when it came to the end of the day. He's out. So they got to kind of watch that, make sure they're not overusing him and getting him hurt.
Don't overuse, keep him healthy, John.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the stat line, you want to give him more carries because 19, you want to run him till he throws up, averaging 9 yards per carry, but you just can't. It's only October. You need him down the line in December.
So I know we mentioned some other top performances from the Texans, Watson and Fuller. Do we expect to see this every week, or is the ball going to go back to Hopkins a little more action from Hyde? What do we think from there?
I pray it goes back to Hopkins because he's on my fantasy team right now, and watching Will Fuller drop 50 was crazy. I think they have some things to get through. I don't think it's a bad thing that they're not targeting Hopkins as much if Will Fuller is going to do what he did. So, I mean, just if you're winning, keep it.
John?
Yeah, I think previously maybe they were trying to force feed Hopkins and it didn't help Watson's game, but I think Fuller is his guy. I expect some big games from Hopkins here on out, but let's make this clear. He threw for 426 and 5 touchdowns with only 5 incompletions.
Now
That's
that's
ridiculous.
an insane
So
stat.
just let him do his thing.
So are we going to say, like, Watson, top quarterback from the week?
Absolutely,
Him or
absolutely.
Russell?
I'm gonna say Russell because I mean, Russell played Thursday, so it's not on many people's minds anymore.
But Russell had a
But
great
they both had MVP talk games this
So
week.
there's one more player we mentioned. Amari Cooper had 226 yards. But do we think that might be an issue for the Cowboys? Because I personally think they need to give Zeke the ball more. Tyler, what do you say about that?
Definitely need to be feeding Zeke way more than what they are. Amari Cooper's a great player. Dak is a decent quarterback, but we all know who the best player on that team is. They need to give him the ball more.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they'd like to, but playing from behind like they were, they can't. And I think, let me just say, now that Antonio Brown's out of the league, I think Amari Cooper is the best route runner in the league. So when you have that downfield threat, they'll get Zeke going.
I believe the score was 17-0 at half, and Dak had 2 picks. So maybe, I mean, are they not running early enough?
Yeah, I think they have to start the game off Zeke, Zeke, Zeke. Then if you go down, do some play action, get Dak going. I think Dak's at his best when Zeke's at his best in getting the ball.
I would say that too. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, I think it showed their rookie year. They both had outstanding rookie years, but I mean, they were feeding off each other. So let's jump into the late games, which really wasn't that exciting from games to choose from. But we had the Packers and Cowboys, which made plenty of noise in Dallas, even if it was too little too late. Green Bay led 31-3 with 3:30 left in the third quarter, but Dallas nearly led a miraculous comeback, falling 34-24. This win cemented the Packers as one of the NFC's elite, but raised questions as who's actually reigned supreme. John, are your Packers the best in the NFC?
After that performance yesterday, I have to say yes, they are the front runner in the NFC.
That's interesting. There's 3 different opinions
Let me make this clear. They did not have their best receiver, Devontae Adams, and they were able to come in and devise a game plan and execute it to perfection, getting Aaron Jones the ball, and he took over that game.
Tyler, why are the Seahawks the best team in the NFC?
I mean, it's between the Seahawks, the Saints. I don't even think the Packers are better than the Eagles right now. I mean, they lost that game. When you look at the Cowboys-Packers game, Aaron Jones won that game for the Packers. The defense collapsed in the end, almost gave him a comeback. Aaron Rodgers had, I think, 5 completions to a wide receiver. All the completions went to Jimmy Graham or Aaron Jones. You're not going to be winning games with Aaron Rodgers having 5 catches from receivers. I know Devontae Adams was out, but if he's ever out any longer, they're in a lot of trouble.
They might be, but they won yesterday. Against one of the NFC's best teams, an elite NFC defense, an elite NFC offense, and they came in and smoked them at their home stadium.
I'm not ready to say the Cowboys are an elite NFC team. They played cupcakes the first 3 games. They showed us who they really were against the Saints. They showed us who they really were against the Packers.
Listen, you look at this Packers roster. You've got the top 3 secondary in the NFL. You've got the second best quarterback in the NFL, the second best run game in the NFC, and the best offensive line in the NFC. You put that all together, you have the best team in the NFC.
The Packers have the second best pass defense?
Yes.
No way.
Look at that secondary.
Statistically, they also started.
5.
Yeah, but they played the Bears week 1. Mitchell Trubisky's not going to do anything against you. Week 2, they went against the Vikings. Kirk Cousins, trash.
They showed up. They showed up and played a great game.
Yeah, because they're going against 2 terrible quarterbacks. I wouldn't be
Prescott
surprised.
And Carson Wentz.
And they lost to Carson Wentz.
They forced 2
That's what happens when they
interceptions
play-
on Dak Prescott.
And Dak Prescott, I mean, if you want to overhype Dak Prescott, go ahead.
2 weeks ago, everybody was saying that was the best offense in the NFL.
Yeah, because they went 3-0 against terrible teams.
Well, you can only beat who you play, so.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not ready to put them number 1. I mean, the Saints are
So, okay, time will tell, but right now, today.
I'm taking the Saints.
Okay, second best secondary in the NFC.
The Packers?
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
Then who is?
I mean, I'll take the Vikings.
Can we agree that they're top 3?
Secondary? No. No, they're middle of the tier. Their rush defense is terrible.
Upper tier secondary. Put that on the other side of the ball with Aaron Rodgers, second best quarterback in the NFL, and you've got the best team.
And then you have to look at the run defense too, which is 28th in the league.
Yeah, but when you're playing with the lead, it doesn't matter.
And Aaron Rodgers isn't doing anything this year. You can't say he's the second best quarterback. He's got the QBR of Kyler Murray and Kyle Allen.
I will say, both of you bring great points, and honestly, we're only 5 weeks in, so we still have 12 more weeks and 4 of the postseason. anything can
You'll
happen.
You'll see.
And we all know it's about staying healthy. That's the key in these long seasons. Gentlemen, I got to say thank you for your insight. Those are great points by everyone. But when we come back, we will get our first taste of basketball on HTF this season with Armand Sardoui and Crystal Tisme. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Dave Jeffrey, attorney at law. Has your favorite team ever left you feeling sad, disappointed, or even a little angry? Don't you feel like you should be compensated for it? Just take a look at these real testimonials from my real clients. After Tyrod Taylor led the Bills to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years, I was the happiest I'd ever been. And then the Bills traded him, and I wanted to die. But thanks to Dave, I found my will to live again. Yo, Kevin Durant's a bitch. When he said his mom was the MVP, I was so pissed. He put up 30 a game, not her. Same time, I knew my boy Dave would be able to get me some quick cash. Thanks, Dave Jeffrey. I've helped millions of people, and chances are I might be able to help you too.
I hate Jaret Jeffries. My whole family died in a car crash, but he gave all my money away to a Saints fan because of some blown pass interference call. Thanks, Dav.
Aren't you mad when KD went to the Warriors?
Nah, that's pretty chill. Give me a call at 888-888-888, crying emoji, and I can fix your sports misery too.
Please call the number on your screen today if you are experiencing any grief, sadness, or even if another fan has hurt your feelings. All you have to do is provide your credit card number, the 3 silly digits on the back, and the expiration month and year. This is not a scam. Derp de derp.
Yo, guys, I can't even imagine what it's like to be a Saints fan right now.
Dude,
I'd be so
Guys,
mad.
I can't believe that ridiculous no call.
Bro, I'm puzzled. If they would have made that call, who do you think would have been in the Super Bowl? The Saints would have been in the Super Bowl. Come on now.
The refs, they need to be punished.
Oh, hey guys. Did you see my missed call last week? Could have sent that team to the championship. I guess not.
I can't take this anymore.
What's up with this guy?
And we are back. I now have Armand Sardoui. How you doing, Armand?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
And the rookie, Crystal Tisme. Crystal, how does it feel to be here?
It feels great. I can't wait to talk about basketball.
I'm excited too. Let's get right into the NBA. The hottest topic right now in the NBA has nothing to do with anything on the court. Over the weekend, the Rockets general manager Daryl Morey tweeted in support of the Hong Kong protesters. The protesters in Hong Kong wish for democracy, but China fails to fulfill this request. This angered the Chinese media, which has now blocked any Rockets media in the entire country. The Rockets are probably one of China's most popular teams since the team drafted the Chinese star Yao Ming with the first pick in the 2002 draft. Armand, what do you make of his tweets?
Well, I'm just not surprised how quickly the NBA, cut that thing down real quick. The thing is that, as we know, China is a communist government, and anybody that speaks against them or criticizes them, they cut you off social media, anything from the outside world. The NBA acted quickly. They said, Daryl Morey's views has nothing to do with the league as a whole, but we're still going to keep him in his general manager spot. That being said, that obviously, and behind closed doors, obviously they want democracy, but I think it was in the time and place to say that. Especially the way that the NBA as a whole now is like, the biggest market is China. I'm saying you got 1.4 billion fans over there. Yep. You have the NBA China games, and you have Golden State, and you have the Rockets that have those alternate China uniforms. Yeah. So the thing is that the NBA acted quickly. They said Daryl Morey does not represent us. And then told him to take the tweet down, and that's the end of that.
Crystal?
Yeah.
Well, I think he kind of put himself in a sticky situation. I mean, they lost a lot of sponsors in China from this tweet, even though it didn't last very long. And like he said, they want democracy, but it's hard to show that support, especially if there's that kind of backlash.
Well, this country does give you freedom of speech, and you can say whatever you want. Sometimes there are consequences that come with it, but you know what? We like to stick to sports here. So let's head to the on-court drama. Anthony Davis made his Lakers debut Saturday against the Warriors. AD scored a team-high 22 in the win over Golden State, and the Lakers' social media sent a warning to the rest of the league after winning a preseason game. Crystal, what does this mean for the Lakers?
Well, I think they're starting off pretty good, and I think they have the key components to make make it to the playoffs and possibly be a contender for the finals. So I just think they need to keep it up.
Well, they have LeBron, so there's always a chance. Armand?
Yeah, actually, preseason in my mind, doesn't mean anything. But the thing is that if the Lakers continue to be healthy throughout the whole season, I could look at maybe they're probably a number 2, number 3 seed. Because if LeBron didn't get hurt last year, he pulled his groin in the Christmas Day game, Lakers would have made the playoffs. So the thing is that if LeBron goes out, at least you have Anthony Davis and a good supporting cast of other players.
So Crystal, who are you looking to besides LeBron and AD to be the voice for this Lakers team?
Honestly, I think McGee. He's pretty good, and he shows out when he gets in. He's a role player.
Armand?
Honestly, I had to say Kyle Kuzma. Kuzma, he's been showing that he's one of the best young stars in this league, and obviously right now he's not healthy. But when he comes back, I think that the Lakers are a force to be working with.
So are we saying that the Lakers should be the clear-cut favorite, or is there someone else who should be the favorite?
I think it depends because the Clippers also could be good too. They have Kawhi Leonard, Kawhi.
They have Kawhi.
They have Kawhi. So if Paul George comes back healthy, then I think they also have a chance to compete with the Lakers.
Honestly, since the Warriors have been thrown as the top team in the West, I think the West is really wide open. Anybody can win that conference. Same as the East too, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, I think this year the NBA is probably the most wide open it's ever been.
Right.
Well, we got a lot of old faces and new places. The league appears to be wide open, and there are numerous title contenders. From reigning MVP Giannis the Greek Freak, we're just gonna go with that. On the Bucks, to both squads in LA, from the new look Houston Rockets to the Warriors by the Bay. There's a lot to look forward to this upcoming season. Armand, what are you looking forward to most?
I had to say the Clippers versus the Lakers. I mean, we had the biggest stars in LA now. LeBron James and AD. You have Paul George and Kawhi. And actually, they're the first game of the season. Obviously, Paul George is not going to come back until the November-ish because he just had surgery on his shoulder. But, that season series is going to be great. If they played each other in the playoffs, that's going to be one of the best playoffs I've ever seen in a while.
Crystal, what are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to see how the Rockets do because James Harden and
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook are both very, very ball-dominant players, so it's going to be interesting to see how they blend and play together.
They did play a bit on the Thunder team that lost to the Heat in 5.
Right.
Are we excited?
I can make an argument against that. I think that James Harden on that Thunder Finals team, that's not the James Harden now. You know what I'm saying? He's evolved as a player and as an individual, and they were both young. Losing to LeBron James in 5 games. The thing is that, like Crystal said, they're both ball dominant players, but the thing is that I think they'll learn to put their egos aside and actually play basketball.
I was going to say, Harden was the 6th man for that team.
Yeah,
so
he
now,
was.
he's the star of the team. So do you think Russ needs to take a different approach than how he did in OKC and, more, I don't need to be the one stat padding?
Well, I think he's already trying to not do that, these past seasons. He's getting better at that. So I think if he just continues to do what he does, then they're gonna go far.
As of right now, I think the Rockets are probably maybe 3rd, 4th seed.
Okay.
If they continue to get better each and every day, and James Harden and Russell Westbrook don't bump heads, I think they'll be pretty good this season.
Okay, so we touched a bit on the West. I want to hear the East though. Do we think the Bucks are the clear-cut favorite, or you the Sixers, the Heat, someone else jump in there?
I think, like you said earlier, both conferences are wide open. I think, my favorite right now has to be the 76ers.
The 76ers?
Because you just acquired Al Horford, and Al Horford, he caused headaches for Joel Embiid, but now they're on the same team now. And, and we see this every season. We've seen clips of Ben Simmons shooting jump shots. If Ben Simmons can attempt a couple jump shots and he makes them, I think they're forced to be working with, honestly.
Crystal?
I agree. I think the 76ers are probably the top runners in the East right now, but I'm also looking forward to see when Kevin Durant comes back and how that goes, because Kyrie is good.
Are we thinking he's going to come back this season? There's no chance.
No, there's honestly, don't make the same mistake the Warriors did.
Yeah.
Don't rush him back. Achilles injury is definitely a tough one to recover from. But when you're a player like Kevin Durant, he might be different. He might be the same player. So the thing is that if Durant did not get hurt, I would have, Brooklyn would probably be my top three for a favorite to come out the East, honestly.
Well, if Durant doesn't get hurt, they probably win the finals.
Yeah.
So that's a lot
Yeah.
different. But Crystal, closing thoughts on the NBA season coming up?
I'm excited because it's not all centered towards the West now. Everything is kind of like open. So I'm excited to see how the teams play.
Honestly, I'm the most excited I've ever been. Obviously, it's not, you don't have teams going like 5 straight finals, 4 straight finals.
Yep.
You don't have LeBron going 8 straight. This is like the first time ever that he took a mini vacation, and that's because he never made it. He never made it playoffs. This is like what, rookie year?
I believe so.
Yeah,
His first
so
year, so it's been like a 14-year.
It's been so long. He's never been to the playoffs.
I think he's gonna come back with the drive this
Yeah,
season.
definitely.
MVP season for LeBron.
Possibly.
I think he might be like top 5, top 3 in MVP voting. We'll see.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, as every year, I always pick my team, and I'm going with the Rockets this year. So let's go, Harden and Westbrook. Thank you, Armand and Crystal, for your opinions. If you're looking for more NBA content, have no fear. In 2 weeks, we're going to hold a special NBA preview episode hosted by Jeremy Brenner, where we break down everything in the upcoming basketball season. After the break, we reveal the results of the Monday Night Football poll. Don't forget to vote, and we'll see you after the break.
Yo, guys, I can't even imagine what it's like to be a Saints fan right now.
Dude,
I'd be so
Guys,
mad.
I can't believe that ridiculous no call.
Bro, I'm puzzled. If they would have made that call, who do you think would have been in the Super Bowl? The Saints would have been the Super Bowl. Come on now.
The refs, they need to be punished.
Oh, hey guys. Did you see my missed call last week? Could have sent that team to the championship. I guess not.
I can't take this anymore.
What's up with this guy?
Hi, I'm Dave Jeffrey, attorney at law. Has your favorite team ever left you feeling sad, disappointed, or even a little angry? Don't you feel like you should be compensated for it? Just take a look at these real testimonials from my real clients. After Tyrod Taylor led the Bills to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years, I was the happiest I'd ever been. And then the Bills traded him, and I wanted to die. But thanks to Dave, I found my will to live again. Yo, Kevin Durant's a bitch. When he said his mom was the MVP, I was so pissed. He put up 30 a game, not her. Same time, I knew my boy Davey would be able to get me some quick cash. Thanks, Dave Jeffrey. I've helped millions of people, and chances are I might be able to help you too.
I hate Jaret Jeffries. My whole family died in a car crash, but he gave all my money away to a Saints fan because of some blown pass interference call. Thanks, Dav.
Aren't you mad when KD went to the Warriors?
Nah, that's pretty chill. Give me a call at 888-888-888, crying emoji, and I can fix your sports misery too.
Please call the number on your screen today if you are experiencing any grief, sadness, or even if another fan has hurt your feelings. All you have to do is provide your credit card number, the 3 silly digits on the back, and the expiration month and year. This is not a scam. Derp-de-derp.
You've made it. It's time to wrap things up on this episode of Hitting the Field. After looking at the results of the Monday Night Football poll, fans believe the 49ers will beat the Browns tonight by 62 to 38%. Honestly, that's kind of shocking. I really thought you guys would have more pull for the Browns. And you know what? I'm time to go off the script a little. We're just going to talk freely. Honestly, I'm still very disappointed in the Knights. I'm not surprised, but I'm disappointed. Heupel, come on, figure it out. I don't get how we can't play on the road this year. We have a great guy in DJ Mack on the bench. He could really, I think, help this team. But you know what? Let's jump over to another field. The Eagles, great win yesterday. It was the Jets. Whatever. It happens. We'll touch on the NBA a bit. The Rockets are really my pick to win this year. I really like Westbrook. I really like Harden. I'm really big on them. In other news, hockey did start the other day, and the Panthers, I know nothing about us other than that we're in Florida and we're probably not going to win, but that's pretty exciting. And lastly, I want to touch on something. In sports business, I was assigned a book called The Adventures of Johnny Bunko. And let me tell you, teachers, take notes. you need to start assigning books that kids want to read. Let me tell you, I actually enjoyed reading Johnny Bunko. I learned 6 valuable business lessons, and I also made a PowerPoint where I had to invent a 7th lesson. This is what we need in education. We need books that, you know, your students want to read, that they are actually going to get something out of. Don't make them go read a 500-page chapter book where they're not going to get anything out. Everything should have a purpose, and honestly, as, you know, a future possible educator? No, that's not going to happen. But honestly, start assigning books that kids want to read. You will see a lot better performance in the classroom. And honestly, last, I got to shout out our man in the audio booth, Charlie Reyes, 5 for 6 with the cycle in his Sunday league. Absolutely insane. I love you to death, Charlie. Keep up the good work on the field. And honestly, thank you for watching this episode of Hitting the Field. Tuesday, we're going to have our latest episode of Might I Add with Kyle Partain and Jeremy Brenner, where they talk about UCF's terrible crushing loss to Cincinnati. Wednesday, be sure to check out the latest episode of the HTF podcast. Head to social media, like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube page, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Hitting the Field. Thank you to my panelists, Emily Hernandez, Johnny Jackson, John Whitley, Tyler Fellerman, Armand Sardui, Crystal Tisme, everyone. Thank you so much behind the scenes, and we'll see you again.